That's me. Stop. Pull up. BMG.
Hey everybody, it's Benji, better known as Moiciara, and today's video is going to be, how can I say this? Like, it's pretty much going to be about dating the same sex. And a lot of times people think when you're dating the same sex, also don't mind if I look at my phone, I have my notes on here, so please, yeah, I'm focused. Um, a lot of times when you're dating the same sex, like it comes across, or if you're part of LGBTQIA, LMNOP, community, you already know that it can come with challenges. It can be very beautiful. It can be very happy. It can be very, loving and caring, just like a standard heterosexual relationship. But I do want to talk about the cons first, because we can talk about the good stuff. We can get there. We can talk about that. But I want to talk about the not so pretty stuff about words. So okay, so like I would say the most difficult thing is about dating the same sex is normally 9 out of 10 out of times is the fact that being gay or what have you, and being a male or being female or whatever, normally the time it's like you're two in sync because you have established this, how can I say, like a natural connection. Like, okay, we're both the same sex, so it's easier for us to identify our issues when it pertains to certain things or whatever. But depending on your estrogen or testosterone in your body, you never know how that may, how can I say, be perceived to the same sex, even though, because a lot of times people just be thinking that, oh, okay, well, men have testosterone, women have estrogen. Men can have estrogen, women can have testosterone, but it doesn't work like that. There's values of it, but it's not as more in one sex than it is in the other, if that makes sense. So I think for me, dating and being in relationships has always been, obviously I'm feminine, clearly, or what have you, but I just think a lot of times what makes it challenging or difficult is because at the end of the day I'm still a man. So by identifying that, I still have those same like connections and similarities with a man. So I have to, tap into that energy sometimes, because at the end of the day it's a part of the relationship. Obviously we're attracted to the same thing because we're the same person, so it does make it easier, but it can also be difficult as well because we have so many things alike, as far as in I don't want to say sex, because sex is just, it's so like, okay, blah, because I mean sex is just a natural thing. So I don't want to just say sex, but it's just like a natural thing, because by us being the same sex, we can identify our problems and issues in similar formalities, in a sense, if I want to say. But then it also can be very how can I say, like, I know I'm saying that a lot, y'all, because I really want to make sure that I'm expressing in the right way, so y'all can like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And also, let's get the conversation going, because if you feel like I'm talking about something that could be a little, don't debate with me. This is not a debate, because this is my channel, and you obviously watching this video because it's my channel, so this is not a debating session. But I'm open to exploring different ideas, if necessary, pertaining to how same sexes be in a relationship together, and the pros and the cons. So I would say clearly, a lot of times when there's a feminine person in a relationship and a masculine person in a relationship, it creates a dynamic that usually works well. But then there's this, okay, I gotta go off on a little tangent real quick. So I don't necessarily give me a minute, y'all. I don't necessarily see a lot of progressive relationships that look like me. Normally, if the guy is feminine, he still appears in a masculine manner, or give off masculine energy. or whatever. And I be wondering what, like, why my girls can't be in a prosperous, open relationship with someone, um, and it still give off the same thing. Cause it's, I don't know if I mentioned that in the last video, but I feel some type of way, so I don't know if I really want to mention specifically. But I'll say this: I've seen something online, and I've been seeing it online consistently about there's this I guess there's like this success rate as far as in being like, if there's two gay men dating, like they have to kind of both give off the same type of masculine energy, or that masculine energy has to be predominant in the relationship in order for it to kind of be more acceptable. Because if there's someone that's, I guess, more cis female identifying gender, meaning that gives off more, feminine energy, basically, like I do, that there's a potential that the relationship can't be identified as, I guess, a gay relationship or something. Like, I I wish I could pull it up and show y'all, but I can't, because I do support, like, gays overall. That's not the issue. But a lot of times online, you don't necessarily see a lot of relationships like with me and a masculine guy or whatever. And now, don't get me wrong. Now, we do have Uncle Clifford, and I can't think of my baby daddy name. What's his name, y'all? I know his real name, but I can't. Lil Murda. There we go. Like, you have Uncle Clifford and Little Murda in a relationship where the sex is identified in, a masculine and feminine way. But then you got on, like, Power, where there's two, like, straight or heterosexual appearing young guys who are, in a romance of some sense. And that's usually what ends up being more accepted in society or whatever. And I just be one, y'all, I plan on making a video about it so I could really talk about it, because I want to kind of speak specifically about what I'm talking about, but I just don't want to talk in depth. I know I'm like, wow, why bring it up now? But nonetheless, it was on my heart, it was on my spirit, so I felt like I needed to in this video. But anyway, but that's what I'm basically getting at. Like, a lot of times with that feminine and masculine energy, it can kind of be something that could be toxic to a point where men, if you're dating the same sex, a lot of times they look at it like, okay, well, we're both men, so it should instantly be easier. But it doesn't necessarily become easier, because at the end of the day, like I just stated, you never know how much estrogen or testosterone is in that sex at the end of the day, because you just don't know. Our bodies are all made up differently, and we all know that. So, but a lot of times people look at it, and then I noticed a lot of people y'all know when I take my little breaks and be quiet, I gotta, get everything together. A lot of times people decide to date same sex because they feel like it's easier, and I definitely want to talk about this, because I remember someone telling me that. It was like, oh, it's easy to pull a guy than it is to pull a female. And when they said that, I was like, so you're telling me that you would rather sexually identify as gay just because it's easier to pull a man than it is to pull a woman? And I know that's deep, y'all, right? That's heavy. That's heavy, because you wouldn't think that people would make it that way. Like, it's like, instead of it being something that they were, like, I guess, genuinely connected to, they decided to do it because it was easier. And I want y'all to stay with me on this ride, because we got a whole bunch. This is going to be a series. I plan on doing this for a while, so I want y'all to, and I was talking about some of these things in my Let's Talk videos. I might put the thing up there, or if you check my page, I had a bunch of Let's Talks or whatever, and it was about relationships and stuff like that, just in general. But I felt like I wanted to start this black gay stuff talk, because the girls, we can talk, we can chat. And I just, like I said, I personally feel like there's not enough visibility on YouTube, online, of people that look like me, living everyday life. This isn't drag. I don't, I mean, every day is drag, and you're not in drag when you're naked, whatever. Boom. Y'all know what RuPaul said. But nonetheless, but nonetheless, this is my life. This is me. This is 100% real. You can check everything in my social media platform. I've been this way for a very freaking long time. Period. But anyway, yeah, I think that's one of like the biggest. My phone's about to fall here. The biggest cons is the fact that a lot of times by having the same sex, being in a relationship with the same sex, it can be kind of, you know, not as smooth selling as a lot of people think. A lot of people think, oh, you gay. It's like, oh, okay, y'all pretty much like the same thing. So, well, how difficult can it be? But, child, it can be toxic. It can be a lot. It can be a lot. It can be a lot. That's why a lot of girls around here constantly single, or they are content creators, because baby, being in a relationship in general just ain't easy. It never was, but I feel like if you don't have the mindset to walk into that purpose of being in a relationship, child, then baby, you're not gonna succeed. But yes, I want to say like I feel like the strongest pros is, a lot of times when you're dating the same sex, y'all both have the same goals, because if you're walking in your relationship with purpose, if you're walking in a relationship with purpose, then you're going to move with purpose. Like, you're going to want to see each other succeed naturally, and that's in any relationship in general. But clearly, we're talking about gay people. But nonetheless, I think that that's always important. Like, when you're getting to know someone, sometimes I feel like this day and age, like, you can't really go into a relationship saying, doing like that little checklist thing, like, okay, what are your goals? What are you doing? What is your type? All that stuff. Because a lot of times a person will sell you that because you have expressed that. They'll be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to give you everything that you asked for, just to reel you in, because that's what you want. And then, you can only fake the funk for so long, and then you have to show your real colors, or something's gonna happen for you to show your real colors or your true colors, what have you. And I think that's why it's definitely good to see what a person is naturally doing on their own. When y'all getting to know each other or y'all start a relationship, see where their mind is at on their own before you get into all that deep hectic stuff, because a lot of people, they have abandonment issues, they're troubled, they want the relationship aesthetic. And when I say relationship aesthetic, is because it looks good, it sounds good, it's easy to latch on to someone and come back and forth to that person as much as you want to, because you have established that connection with them. But I feel like it's extremely important when you're dating someone that they kind of let you know where their goals are at, and you see it. Because anybody, I could say today, like, I want to be a billionaire, I want to meet Beyonce, I want to meet Oprah, I want to work at the White House. Like, I could say all those things, but what am I doing to put into work to get to that place, to do those things and see it through? And I feel like you have to make sure that you are with someone where you're seeing someone who has similar goals, even if it's not the same, but y'all on the same track. And even if y'all don't have the same goals, like, I feel like it's important that y'all are leveling up, like, y'all building each other up, like, on top of each other, because a lot of people aren't in the same, work field or doing the same thing or what have you. But if you see your partner progressing the way you feel is suited best for them, and they see that's best suited for you, then support it, do it. And sometimes, like I said, when you're dating the same sex, when y'all set that cement to build that foundation, like, what it is, where it's going, and ain't nobody gonna interrupt that or interfere with that. Hold on, y'all. Okay, then boom. Okay, here go another thing. Y'all know I'm looking at my notes. This isn't rehearsed. This is live. This is raw. This is uncut. Period. But anyway, no. I wanted to talk about love language, like dating the same sex, and this kind of hints at what I was talking about someone telling me how it's easier for them to pull men or have a relationship with a man than it is a woman because of the love language. Like, a lot of the times the love language is just a bit easier because by us being the same sex, we kind of identify um, those coping mechanisms in an easier light. And sometimes when you're dating the same sex or what have you, it's easier to tap into it. Like, you don't have to try so hard to try to, I guess, break down those walls or barriers or what have you. And you can just easily walk into that relationship and establish that love language connection sometime. Because I don't been in, okay, okay, let's talk about me. Let's talk about me. Okay, so I have been in quite a few relationships, and I've been in relationships where I feel like people understood my love language and I've understood theirs, but they've used it as a way to take advantage of our relationship and what we were trying to do, or whatever the case may be. Because sometimes it could come across very like, okay, this is beneficial for me at the moment. So if it's beneficial for me at the moment, then by all means I'm going to use it and try to be on some shiesty shit. Like, I can't really say nothing else besides that. Like, that's usually what it is. And that's child, like, that's the difficult part. When you're dating someone and y'all have established those love languages, like we're seeing it play out now with what's the baby name? Krishan and Blueface. Like, they're young, but they've established a certain type of connection where I don't want to just say it's toxic, because if I've watched the show, and baby, if like, people want to just say like it's toxic or whatever, but clearly they have established their love languages with one another, and that's what creates the dynamic of toxicity. Because once you establish that, it becomes very hard to let go. It becomes very difficult to break those barriers because you want to continue to stay in that relationship. When child when the shit hit the fan, it hits the fan, baby. And who, if anybody know, I know. Yeah. Y'all, oh, y'all lucky I get up on here and talk about certain stuff, because baby, I have a story to tell, because we all got a story to tell, but I got a story to tell. If y'all knew the type of thing, baby, I have been through, honey. But that's what I was saying basically about, like, love languages. Like, it can kind of be progressive, but at the same time, if you're using those things for negative traits in the relationship, then child, you're doomed. But yes, I also feel, I do want to say this before I get out here, because I can run my mouth and I'll get all, on some other stuff. So yes, but I want to say, like, when you have established that foundation of a productive love language, you see relationships, they last a very long time. When you've established the connection of wanting to constantly evolve, constantly grow, constantly learn, and understand and validate your lover, you take the relationship to a whole nother level. And that's what it's really about when you understand the love language. It's not just, oh, my love language is touch, it's giving and affection and blah blah blah. Like, it's more so about constantly evolving, because you're not always gonna have those beautiful days, and you have to make sure that you want to understand your partner to a point where you guys can constantly learn and love each other and see things, in a better way to continue to have a successful relationship. So with all that said, y'all, because I had some technical difficulties and I don't know what's going on. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your mama, your grandma, your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, your little baby sister, little baby brother, whoever. And stay tuned for episode 3.